Good afternoon. The time is 1:30 p.m. The date is Thursday, November 7th, 2024. It's another beautiful day here in Paradise, and I'm happy to call to order the regularly scheduled November meeting of the West Palm Beach Zoning Board of Appeals. I'll ask our board secretary to please call the roll.
Christopher Kammerer.
Here.
Christopher Hagan.
Here.
Jonathan Burgess.
Here.
Dana Picotte.
Here.
Emmeline Savage.
Here.
Let the record reflect that Alfred Fields is not present.
Thank you. With five members present, we do have a quorum. So I'll now ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the review and approval of the minutes from the last meeting, the October 3rd, 2024 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Those minutes were in the packet, so I'll ask the board if there are any additions, modifications, corrections to the minutes, and if not, for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second. Okay. The motion was made by Vice Chair Kammerer and seconded by Board Member Burgess. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the minutes from the October meeting are approved. The next item on the agenda is reports from our Planning Division staff. I'll ask Angela.
Good afternoon, board members. Angela Van, Planning and Zoning Administrator. Only thing on the agenda, just wanted to be at the end of the agenda, we have election of officers for the board. That's chairman and vice chair.
Okay, thank you. So that'll be conducted then after we've heard the case that's on today's agenda. Next is the remarks from the chairperson. The only remarks I have today is that I will go over the proceedings for the meeting. Matters before the Zoning Board of Appeals are quasi-judicial in nature. Anyone wishing to speak, including members of the public who wish to offer public comment, will need to be sworn in. The applicants will then make a presentation and answer any questions from the board. The applicants will then be followed by city staff, who will provide a presentation and recommendation to the board, and then they will answer any questions. Members of the public will then be given the opportunity to provide comment, with each person receiving up to 3 minutes. City staff will also insert any public comment received in advance of today's meeting, such as emails, voicemails, etc., into the record. The applicant will then have an opportunity for rebuttal. The floor will then be closed, and the board will go into executive session for discussion, a motion, and then a vote. As a reminder, there are 4 votes that are required for approval of any item in front of us. So with that, we'll move to declaration of ex parte communication. I'll start on my right with Vice Chair Kammerer.
All right, as to matter number 3443, I have not had any ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions, and I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Board Member Burgess.
As to matter 3443, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions, and I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Board Member Picotte.
As to matter number 3443, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. And Board Member Savage.
As to matter number 3443, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. And for myself, as to matter Zoning Board of Appeals case number 3443, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record. With that, I will now move into the public hearing and the swearing in of the speakers. I'll ask our board secretary to please swear in any speakers who wish to speak on items in front of us today, and anyone in the audience who's wishing to speak, please rise and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the only matter on our agenda in front of us today is item B1, which is a continued case from the October meeting. I'll ask our board secretary to please read that item into the record.
This is a request by Michael Bates for a variance from section 94-482A of the city's zoning and land development regulations to allow for a reduction in the required landscape area in the front yard of a single-family residence located within a single-family, high-density SF14 residential district. The subject property, consisting of approximately 0.14 acres, is located at 371 East Lakewood Road within Commission District Number 5, Commissioner Christina Lambert.
Thank you. So we'll first start off with the applicant and welcome you. Please state your name and address for the record and proceed with your presentation.
Michael Bates, 371 East Lakewood Road, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33405. Good afternoon. I'm here to present for a driveway variance. I was here last month. I was missing the walkway in the plans, and I added those to the plans. So, as mentioned last month, the driveway is going to be 20 feet, which is the width of the two garages, and I added in this extra section here to display where the walkway will be. The entrance to the house, it's a side entrance, kind of garden walkway, so we'll have this little cutout here that leads into this walkway, and then the front door is over here. So the driveway is 500 square feet, and the walkway added an additional 67 square feet. And as mentioned last month, the width of the lot is only 50 feet, so it's a very narrow lot, so it's just kind of hard to meet the coding restrictions with the narrowness of the lot. So currently, with the new calculations, the landscaped area of the front of the yard would be 55%. The city code requires 75%, so I'm seeking a variance to, go a little bit beyond those measures. This is the new site plan, so that's the driveway that we had last month, and we're just adding, again, this 67 square foot walkway, which then leads into this little covered patio, and then the front doors right here. And that is it. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Start off with Board Member Burgess. Any questions of the applicant?
No questions for the applicant, thanks.
Okay. Board Member Picotte?
No questions.
Okay. Board Member Savage?
No questions.
Okay. Vice Chair Kammerer?
No questions.
Okay. And as we started to hear this last time, we did get some familiarity then. I have no further questions at this time. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll now have our city staff come forward and provide the city presentation.
Evening, everyone. Ann Volsey, planner. As stated before, this is a continued case. I'm just going to go over the request. So basically, the applicant initially was requesting a 20% reduction. With the addition of the walkway, it increases by 7.15%. So the reduction requested as part of the variance is a 27.15 reduction of what is required, which is 937.5, and they're providing 683 square feet. I have a video of the site. Let's play that. So basically, it's under construction. So this is just a street view of the narrowness of the lot, and on the other side, you see they have commercial. So it's not adjacent to another residential, except for the one that you see on the right. So staff is recommending approval of this variance on the condition that the variance related to the landscape area shall only apply to the proposed driveway and walkway, and it complies with section 94-38D6 of the City of West Palm Beach zoning and land development regulations.
Okay, thank you. I'll start off with any questions from the board with Board Member Picott. Any questions of city staff?
No questions.
Okay, Board Member Savage,
No questions.
Vice Chair Camera,
No questions.
okay, and Board Member Burgess.
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, and I have no questions either, so
Thank you.
So at this point, we'll move into public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing and ask that anybody who wishes to speak on this item, please come forward. I didn't receive any cards, so I don't think anybody is here to speak. I'll ask staff if there were any voicemails or emails or anything that need to be entered into the record.
No communication to be entered.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I will close the public hearing. And at this point, I would offer the applicant a chance for rebuttal, but I assume you have no closing statements or rebuttal? Okay. With that, go into executive session here and ask if any board members have comments to make. I'll just go down the line. I'll start off with Board Member Savage. Any comments on the item?
No comments.
Okay, Vice Chair Kammer.
No comments.
Okay, Board Member Burgess
No comments. Thanks.
and Board Member Picott.
No comments.
Okay. I have no further discussion or comments either. And I do note there was the one condition of approval, which is what's on our screen. So keep that in mind if we do have a motion to be made. And at this time, we will entertain a motion.
I move that the Zoning Board of Appeals grant case number 3443, a request by Michael Bates for a variance from section 94-482A of the city's zoning and land development regulations to allow for a reduction in the required landscape areas in the front yard of a single-family residence located within a single-family, high-density residential district. The motion is based upon the testimony presented, along with the application submitted and staff report, which constitute competent substantial evidence. The board hereby makes findings of fact that each of the criteria in Article 2, Section 94-38D6 of the City of West Palm Beach zoning and land development regulations have been met. In addition, the granting of the variance is made conditional upon the following restrictions, stipulations, and/or safeguards that I move are necessary to ensure compliance with the purpose and intent of the zoning and land development regulations and consistent with the comprehensive plan of the City of West Palm Beach. Number 1, the variance related to landscape area shall only apply to the proposed driveway and walkway.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. The motion was made by Vice Chair Kammerer and seconded by Board Member Picott. I'll note there were 5 members up here, so Ms. Savage, who is our alternate, will be a voting member on this item. So at this point, I'll ask our Board Secretary to please call the roll.
Oh, sorry. Christopher Kammerer,
Yes.
Christopher Hagan,
Yes.
Jonathan Burgess,
Yes.
Dana Picott,
Yes.
Emmeline Savage.
Yes.
Okay. The motion is approved 5-0, so the case is approved. Yes. Okay, that was the only case on today's agenda, so there's no new business at this point. For cases, no unfinished business. The only new business in front of us is then the election of officers. So I know in the past, I think we've just taken nominees for chair and then vote on that, and then after that we'll take nominations for vice chair. So if there are any nominations for chair, the floor is open.
I'll nominate Christopher Hagan to continue as chairperson of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations? Okay, the motion was made by Vice Chair Kammerer and seconded by Board Member Burgess. I think we can take a voice vote on that. So all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you entrusting me to lead the board again for another year. And we'll now go to nominations for vice chair.
I move to nominate Christopher Kammerer to continue in the vice chair role.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. The motion was made by Board Member Burgess and seconded by Board Member Bacot. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All opposed? Okay. So Vice Chair Kammerer will continue on as vice chair for the next year.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all. That concludes the new business. There's no other business. So now, oh,
I
sorry.
have other business.
Okay. Sorry.
For the record, Rick Green, Development Services Director. I just thought it might be appropriate to let everybody know that we started a new platform online called Open Counter. And I'm going to take a chance and try to do something live and hope it works. But I'll show you this. It's a platform to basically help our residents in the city if they want to find zoning information, if they want to identify what permits they need. It's a very good concept we've been working on for some time. We just went live on October 23rd. So let me just kind of walk you through. So if you go to our website, www.wpb.org, you get to the city website, you go to departments, scroll down to development services. And then click on permit planner. Or let's go to permit planner portal. This will bring you to Open Counter. So you see you have three functions. If you want to find zoning information, you can click here. Residential information, hit here. If you're interested in identifying a particular business, you can go to the business multifamily portal. So let's go to that one as an example. And these are the things that you're going to want to look at with the overview. So you click on next. And let's say hypothetically, Board Member Burgess and Board Member Hagan want to start let's say a landscape architect, traffic engineering company. We'll call it Late. And then you click on search, and then you'll get a series of potential uses. Let me go back to this and call it Late Office. So it'll narrow the choices down. So you
Gotta
get
work on
a
our
list of potential uses in our permitted use table of the zoning code. So in this case, it would probably be closest to professional offices, non-medical. So you click on this button, go to next, and it will then generate a map that you can zoom in, zoom out. All of these areas identified in green are where that particular use would be permitted. So again, if you're interested in starting a business, you could see very quickly where it's permitted. Where it's a conditional use, i.e. a Class B that would come before this body, you see it highlighted in yellow. And then where it's shown in gray, it's where it's not permitted. If you have a particular location, so I'm just pulling one out of the air, 2000 South Dixie, you type in a particular address, and you see it'll, through our GIS system, will pop up. It'll take you right to that site, and you'll see because that area is highlighted in green, right away you know that that's an area that particular use is permitted. So then you do a description, so you say landscape architect, traffic engineering, and then you scroll down all these questions. So let's say you're going to occupy an existing structure. Let's say you're going to remodel, and again, the applicant has a whole discretion of either using new construction, remodeling, how many square feet. Let's say it's a 2,000 square foot office building. Will you change the occupancy? Let's say no, it's an existing office building now, you're just changing the use. Will you remove trees? Yes. Will you install signs? Yes. And you go through a series of questions that you simply answer. And then as you're going through these questions, it'll tell you if you miss something. So they'll want to know, will you do landscaping? So because you missed that question, you have to go back and answer. We're not going to do artificial turf. We're going to do general landscaping. We're not going to do any demolition. And then when all the questions are answered, we're going to put a bike rack, let's say, in front of the facility. It'll ask you what type of building system revisions will you make. We're just going to change electrical. What type of electrical? We'll say just general electrical, and then you keep moving on through the process. Let's say it's $1 million renovation, and then from that, it'll identify what your fees will be that you'll have to pay to the city. Then you can save your project with your email address, move on to the next screen, and then you have all these different reports that you can get. So it'll tell you your fee, in this case, $21,000. It'll tell you what is needed: a tree alteration permit, an interior building permit less than 5,000 square feet. You need electrical sub-permit. You need a sign permit, landscaping. So it basically walks you through the whole gamut. And then once you have all that, you can download a PDF, and it'll actually print you a report summarizing everything that's in the program. And there's the report. So that's what it is. It'll show the location, the heading, and again, you can scroll through this, and it'll tell you all about your desired use. As quickly as we did that, that's how quickly you can go through a particular use. But again, you can go into more detail or less detail, but it just provides a resident within the city an opportunity to explore different options, locations, businesses. So we just wanted to share that with you. And again, that's just something that we're providing to our residents. And we just went live about a week and a half ago. And it worked, so that's a good sign. That's it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. That's always interesting to see new changes and ways of doing things. So thanks for sharing that with us. Any other comments from the board? Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. At 1:49 p.m., the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.